this would be a good lesson for you to just learn a little bit more about that. So, if someone were to ask you what the purpose of nutrition was, what would you guys tell them?
To be healthy, I suppose.
That's a good answer. Anyone else have a yes, Sam?
So you don't get fat.
Okay. Is there a better way we could phrase that?
So you don't die.
Okay. So we've got some. Alright, so we have some basic ideas, some of these things. So some other ideas, purposes of nutrition that I want to mention are that I would write them on a whiteboard if I had one, but I don't. So it'll help with recovery when you are exercising and stuff. If you're eating properly, you'll be able to recover better. You'll also be able to prevent fatigue when you are exercising, when you are just going about your daily life. It'll help with that too. And then also it will help with repairing tissue when you get injured or when you have just been exercising. It'll help repair and help build the muscle that you are trying to gain, right? Right, Sam?
Yep.
Okay. And then also it can be helpful if you're an athlete. Using proper nutrition will help you to, you can use it for like pre-game meals and trying to be at your best physically to be ready for your performance, basically. So, did you have a question, Sam? Okay.
We get back here.
Okay. All right. So nutrients they're essential to proper nutrition, right? So, what's a nutrient? Anyone have an idea? A guess? Yes.
Protein.
Yeah. So that is an example of a nutrient.
Yeah, vitamins, nutrients, minerals.
Aren't there like 6 of them or something?
Yes, we're gonna get to that in just a second.
My plate.
So nutrient it's essential to proper nutrition, and it's a substance that provides the nourishment that is essential for life, basically. Oh yeah, and I'm supposed to hand out these. I have these papers that you guys are supposed to be filling out while we take notes. No, actually. There's your.
Will we have a quiz on this after?
We might.
Hopefully we will.
I'm sorry, because I was supposed to hand these out a minute ago. So if you have questions on them that you missed, let me know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now that we've kind of talked a little bit about why we have nutrition and a little bit about what nutrients are, Sam, you mentioned that there are 6 classifications of nutrients, right? Do you know what those classifications are?
Protein, fat, carbs, vitamins, minerals, and water.
Why are you even here? You already know the answer.
Nice job. Woo.
I think you took this class before.
You might have. Okay. All right. So basically, each of these nutrients has a different purpose in the body and in overall nutrition. So, can anyone tell me what the purpose of protein is in the body?
Muscle development.
That's one purpose. Any other purposes?
Make tissue?
Well, I mean, it gives us energy, which will, in turn, and it also helps build and repair. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, that's
like building and repairing tissue? Yeah, okay.
Build and repair.
Mm-hmm. Then, what about fats? Can anyone tell me what the purpose is of fats in the body?
Oh, I know this. It's to store the energy, right?
Yes, storage of energy. They can also provide energy in general. And then also, yes, keeping warm.
Well, and there's some vitamins that you can only get, your body can only process with fats.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Do you remember? Yes. You got it. And an easy way to remember that is, or you can just remember CADE. Those are the vitamins, the fat-soluble vitamins. Yeah. Okay.
I remember CADE.
What about carbohydrates? Can anyone tell me what the purpose of carbs in the body are?
Energy.
Just energy.
Yeah, pretty much. Energy, yep.
Plus they taste good.
You're right.
Carbs taste good. Fat tastes really good.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of donuts, and I'll be healthy.
Okay, so what 3 nutrients are left right now, guys? We have minerals,
Vitamins, minerals, and
water. You got it. Okay. So what's the purpose of water in the body? Why do we have to drink water?
Because we're made mostly of water.
yeah,
Yes, you're right.
transports everything
So-
around.
Transportation.
It's fluid.
Yeah, maintains that balance, that pH balance in our body, right? Okay. And then what about vitamins? You guys know what the purpose of vitamins are? Why do we need them?
So you don't get scurvy.
You're right. That is important. So that basically vitamins, they're facilitators, and they help our immune system, and they also help with like efficient energy use in the body. And then we have minerals as well, which do similar things and help with like, yeah, similar processes as anyway. Okay, so with these 6 classifications of nutrients that we've gone over, there's 2 classifications, Sam, you're right. Can you tell me what those 2 classifications are?
We have micronutrients and macronutrients.
Yes, you're right. You know what the difference is between those 2.
One's
Nope.
big and one's small.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I mean, macronutrients
They're on
are
the
like
sheet.
what you actually get like energy from, and micronutrients you don't get energy from, really.
Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. You're right. So yeah, basically our macronutrients, they provide energy. So that's our carbohydrates, fats, and protein. And then our micronutrients are vitamins, minerals, and water. They don't provide us any direct usable energy, but they're still considered nutrients because they're necessary to maintain life. So I have a few examples of different types of nutrients in this little bag right here. And we're just gonna, since we don't have a very big class today, we're not gonna split up into groups to do this, we're just gonna do it as one big group today. So, when I hold up a nutrient, raise your hand if you know what it's classified as. This is wheat, linguine, it's pasta. Yes.
Carbohydrate.
Yes, there you go. Good job.
And some other stuff.
But not water.
A whole thing of butter.
I was supposed to have water, but I forgot a water bottle.
There's water. There's water.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys know what water looks like, so we don't need to bring that up.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure. Okay, so what about this?
Protein!
Protein.
Sam, you need to raise your hand.
Oh, I'm
Ben,
sorry.
good job.
Or Shane.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
protein.
I see.
What about this? It says iron on it, if you can't read it.
Yeah.
It's a mineral.
Right. Good job. Hey, what about this? With butter.
Fat!
You didn't raise your hand, Sam.
Sam, Ben?
Fat.
Okay. Alright, this is folic acid. Do you know what that is, Sam?
Vitamin.
Yes. Do you know what vitamin?
Probably like vitamin sunlight.
One of the B's.
Yeah, it's one of the B vitamins. I think it's B9. Yeah.
That vitamin's benign.
Alright.
They all are banana.
So now we have a little bit of a basic understanding of some of the nutrients off of that. Yeah. Alright, so with each of these nutrients, there is a proper amount of each that we need to get in order to be healthy. And this may vary for each individual, but the USDA has certain recommendations on amounts of each of the nutrients, well, of the macronutrients that we need to get. So, for protein, that number is 15%. So 15% of your daily calories, of your daily intake of food, should be made up of protein. And like this may vary. So if you're more active, like you're running a lot and you're lifting weights, you probably need a little bit more protein than someone who is like kind of inactive and sitting around a lot all day. And then for carbohydrates, the amount that the USDA recommends is 55 to 60% of your daily intake. So most of the energy that we consume should be in the form of carbohydrates. And has anyone heard of like fad diets? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a big one right now?
The people that just sit around eating meat all day.
The
Yes.
keto
Keto
diet.
diet.
Yes.
Okay. So what might be wrong with this diet?
Not enough carbohydrates.
Die.
Now, they'll probably be okay. They're probably not gonna die,
That's true.
but
They might.
they're gonna be sluggish. They're gonna not have as much energy because their body is relying on these. It's having to rely on fats and proteins, which are not as efficient for like that quick, simple energy, you know.
So do people actually get skinny with those things, and how come?
So they might, because if they decrease their caloric intake, they're gonna lose weight.
Right.
So basically, if someone was eating like 2,000 calories and suddenly they're eating 1,800, even if it's like fats and protein, they will lose weight.
Okay.
But they'll be more tired. Yeah.
Well, and also they'll increase their fat and their cholesterol intakes and stuff, so they'll get all out of whack that way too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So not good for their overall health.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, Ben?
How do people do it if they're vegan?
They don't.
Okay.
They could, but
But how do they like balance this all out?
Oh, how do you balance this? Okay.
Mhm.
So when we look at, I'm guessing you're thinking of mostly protein, like having a hard time getting protein, right? So people who are vegans or vegetarians have to rely on things like soy, tofu, rice and beans are a really good complete protein that's not an animal source. So people have to rely on those instead. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So let's see, we didn't get to fats. So the USDA recommends that 25 to 30% of our diet is made up of fats. So that's a lot higher than a lot of people think for fats. A lot of times we think about fat as being bad. We're like, because obviously you're like, oh, I'm fat or I have a lot of fat. You don't think that's a good thing, but there's an essential amount that we have to consume because it helps with keeping us warm and with storing energy just in case we need it, things like that. Do you have a question?
Wouldn't this technically mean we would take in more grams of protein though?
What do you mean by that? Like, what?
More like grams of protein, because like
Compared to
grams of fat.
Isn't this based on percentage of your
This is-
calories?
Yeah,
that
that's
you're eating?
percentage of calories.
Yeah.
So you take in more grams of protein than grams.
Yes.
yes, yeah. I was
Or
yeah.
about the same.
It's like, wait, what are you saying? Yeah. Yes.
So by
Because
weight,
this is yeah.
by weight you take in like, the
Yes.
same amount. of
Because this is
fat
percent.
and protein.
In calories. So like so we're gonna get into this in just a second. I guess I'll just go into it right now. So fats have about 9 calories per gram. Is that it? Okay. And then carbs is 4 and proteins is also 4. So you're getting, for the same amount of, if you consume like 1 gram of fat or whatever, then you're getting 9 calories versus 1 gram of protein, where you're getting 4 calories. So
And that is why the protein diets work. Got
because
it.
instead of
Because you're
doing a ton of
getting
protein,
fewer calories for the more weight of food.
yes.
Oh.
But it'd be better to get those calories by eating fruits and vegetables.
Exactly.
Because you can eat a lot more fruits and vegetables and get a lot, there's just less to it.
hmm
Okay.
And then if you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, you're also going to get some of these vitamins and minerals, and you won't have to take little supplements like this. Yeah. All right. So so this kind of leads into what I was going to talk about. Some of the things we've talked about. So when we get too much of like certain nutrients, especially protein, our bodies actually can't use the excess, and so they'll like excrete it or store it as fat. So with protein especially, so protein is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. The other nutrients don't have nitrogen. So our bodies have to break that down and excrete it. And so protein is less efficient for energy use, but it also makes us feel full longer, so. Okay. So that being said, so our bodies can only use 4 grams per every 10 pounds of body weight of protein. So for every, so if someone weighs like 100 pounds, they can only use 40 grams of protein. Okay, so now we're going to, I have a review game. We're going to go over some of the things we've learned. And if everyone can pull out their mobile device and open up, it'll be, you can just go to the website, it'll be Kahoot, KAHOOT.it.
Or the Kahoot mobile app.
Yes. If you have the app, that works too.
No.
I know that you don't have very long for each answer, so.
Alright, we're ready.
Well, if you go fast, yeah.
It's still loading.
Which of the following is not one of the purposes of nutrition? Recovery.
You just click on it.
Okay.
Yeah, you just put the.
And the faster you are, the more points you
You get more
Yay,
points for
everyone's-
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
get. So if you're in school
Okay, so
doing
what
this, you
is
literally have to
like,
answer
it's
it in
not
like
one of
1
the purposes
second.
of
Really.
nutrition.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Good
have
job,
to
guys.
be like,
Guys.
Guys, come on, class. You gotta keep it down, or we're gonna have to stop playing the game.
Otherwise, we can't go to recess if we got this.
All right.
Okay. My
Good
bad.
job, whoever Kaylee's bro is.
Yes, you recommend. So that would be, oh yeah, right, got it.
Okay, almost everyone got it. Good job. 20% is close to 50.
I didn't do that. Took a while.
Yeah.
Everyone's a winner,
Yeah.
Except for one person.
except for one person
So
who's
yeah,
a
just
loser.
go over that question. So yeah, it's, protein is 15% of the
No,
average.
I can't see the screen. We're having a test.
Okay.
I saw my mom did it.
This one's kind of hard. I might not have taught this, so. I actually did. I did mention.
Yes!
I did mention
place.
that they were facilitators, but I did not mention that they were not regulators. What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But unless you're cutting something.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut out the part where we.
Man, I totally got it.
Good job, guys.
Yay, well smart.
Where's my
Are you
point?
sure?
I like when there's 2 answers.
Good job, Wayne.
Yeah!
And Kaylee's bro, whoever me is. Alright. Thanks for coming to class today.